Prophet Ibrahim Islam's life is full of lessons for us to apply in our lives. There are many things about Prophet Ibrahim Islam that people are well aware of, such as the great sacrifice of Ibrahim Islam and the test of his son Ismail, the event of Bibi Hajra running between Safa and Marwa, and building the Kaaba. What we want to focus on is Prophet Ibrahim Islam from birth to the event of the fire. So there was a king called Nimrod who was the first to rule over all of Mesopotamia. He was the first king to have gold and silver coins made, and he absolutely loved power. His closest friend was an astrologer, an idol maker, who told him that he had seen something strange in the stars. A child will be born who will bring an end to our religion, he said. Nimrod did everything he could to try to make sure this didn't happen, and Prophet Ibrahim Islam's mother showed no signs that she was having a baby. When he was born, however, the king and his supporters wanted this little baby dead, so his mother took him to a cave and left him there. She prayed to God to protect him, and any time she went back in secret to see him, he was healthy, he was growing, and he was taken care of. Eventually, he left the cave around the age of 13 and came under the care of his uncle. It was not his father who worshipped the idols, it was his uncle. And during the years in the cave, Prophet Ibrahim Islam would have many silent conversations with God. So when his uncle said, "We'll go to worship at the temple," he was very excited. He wanted to know how to worship God properly. When they arrived at the huge temple that was so grand, he saw lots and lots of idols and people worshipping them. He became very surprised and asked his uncle if these idols replied to people. His uncles replied, "No, but we found our forefathers worshipping like this." He turned away from his uncle, but he did this respectfully, which shows us the importance of being respectful even to those we disagree with. As he left, we have to remember that this was the first time Prophet Ibrahim Islam was out of the cave, so he had not witnessed the stars before. So when a brilliant star appeared in the sky, he noticed a priest worshipping it. He said, "This is my Lord." But when it set, he said, "I like not those that disappear. This is so beautiful, as it reflects his sadness that it left." And he realized that God is one who does not leave, as he is ever present, the near. Then he saw the morning sun and said, "This is my Lord." But when it set, he said, "Unless my Lord guides me, I will surely be among the people gone astray." And this is important, as it shows us he naturally felt the need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a guide and relied on him. Then he states, "Indeed, I have turned my face towards He who created the heavens and the earth, inclining toward truth, and I am not of those who associate with Allah." This clearly demonstrates our innate nature, meaning something within us that we have to worship. So the need to worship is within every human being. Even those who were idol worshippers had a desire inside themselves to worship something. And even today, people who say they do not worship a God do worship something, whether it's a celebrity, money, power, or even themselves. So these verses are also beautiful as Prophet Ibrahim Islam's words reflect that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Qahar, and Allah is the one with power over everything, including the sun, the moon, the stars, the entire earth, and the heavens. Most of the people who worshipped the idols did so because they found their forefathers doing it, and those around them. And this shows us the importance of thinking for ourselves and being careful of the influence on us, our behaviour and decisions. It also shows us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Ahad, the one, and no other gods exist. Prophet Ibrahim Islam understood the logic of this and the truth in this at such a young age. He wanted people to understand that their gods can do nothing. And as everyone was busy getting ready, he smashed up all of the smaller idols and placed the club or bat that he used around the neck of the largest one. When the people gathered and became so angry, they asked, "Who did it?" And Prophet Ibrahim alayhi said, "Well, it must have been the large one. Why don't you ask him?" And then some of them realized their mistake and they were embarrassed. They knew they'd been worshipping things they'd made with their own hands and things that cannot respond to them or do anything to benefit them. And they stopped worshipping them, and they even began to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow Prophet Ibrahim alayhi. Now the people in power became very, very angry, and they decided to throw the Prophet into a great fire, and they collected lots of wood. Now many people joined in the collection of the wood as they were against him. A great catapult was built, and when Prophet Ibrahim alayhi was launched into the middle of the fire, Jibreel alayhi became so sad and worried because he knew that this was a great man. So he came and said, "Do you need anything?" And Prophet Ibrahim alayhi trusted in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much that he said, "Not from you." Now he didn't say this disrespectfully, he didn't say it being arrogant, he just had so much trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself will help him. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "O fire, be cool and peaceful for Ibrahim." And this shows us the level of trust he had. Now, kings, celebrities, others like them, they're all in need of followers. They need it to feel good about themselves, or for power, or for greed, or anything else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, however, is free of need. He is as-samad. He does not require anything from anyone or anything. We depend on him, we rely on him, and are in need of him. And he is independent. If he gives out of love and with no expectation. So the least we can do is to be grateful, do shukr, and use what he has given us in the best of ways. Now Prophet Ibrahim alayhi was given the title Al-KHALIL of Allah. This means the friend of Allah. This is such a beautiful honour.